My mom pointed at me during Easter lunch and said, "You're the reason this family is always falling apart," then told me to leave. So I did, quietly. 1 month later, she started screaming. I was 24 and still living at home because I was helping pay for my dad's medical bills. He'd been fighting diabetes for years and the medication costs were insane. I worked 2 jobs and gave my parents almost my entire paycheck every month. But somehow, I was always the problem child. My brother Jake was the golden boy, even though he lived 3 states away and visited maybe twice a year. My sister Amy was the baby who could do no wrong, even though she'd been unemployed for 8 months. Easter Sunday, we're all sitting around the dinner table when Amy starts crying about how stressed she is about finding a job. My mom immediately jumps in with all this sympathy, asking what she can do to help. Then Amy looks at me and says, maybe I could lend her some money for interview clothes since I'm the only one working. I'd already given her $200 the month before for her car payment that she never paid back. I said I couldn't afford it right now because I was behind on my own bills from helping with dad's medications. That's when my mom lost it. She started yelling about how I was selfish and how I never supported my family. I tried explaining that I literally give them most of my money every month, but she wasn't hearing it. That's when she pointed her finger right at me and said I was the reason this family was always falling apart, that I brought nothing but negativity and stress to everyone around me. She told me if I couldn't be supportive of my sister when she needed help, maybe I should just leave. So I did. I didn't yell back or make a scene. I just got up, went to my room, and started packing. Within 2 hours, I had all my stuff in my car and was driving to my friend Sarah's place. Sarah had been telling me for months that my family was taking advantage of me, but I never listened. She let me crash on her couch until I found my own apartment. The first week was weird. I felt guilty about leaving, especially with dad's medical stuff, but then I realized how much money I had left over when I wasn't giving it all away. I could actually buy groceries for myself and go out to dinner without checking my bank account first. For the first time in years, I wasn't stressed about money constantly. 3 weeks in, my dad called asking where the money for his prescription was. I told him I wasn't living there anymore, remember? He seemed confused, like he hadn't realized I was the one paying for everything. A month after I left, my mom called me screaming. The electric company had shut off their power because nobody paid the bill. Turns out I'd been covering utilities for the past year without even realizing it. She was crying about how they couldn't afford dad's medications and how Amy still didn't have a job. She asked when I was coming back home to help them figure everything out. I told her I wasn't coming back, that maybe now they'd understand what I actually contributed to the family instead of just seeing me as the problem. She tried to guilt trip me, saying a good daughter would help her family in their time of need. I said a good mom wouldn't have kicked out the daughter who was already helping. My dad ended up having to take out a loan to cover his medical costs. Amy finally got a job at a grocery store because she had no choice. And my mom had to go back to work part-time after being retired for 3 years. Meanwhile, I got promoted at my main job because I could finally focus on my career instead of constantly worrying about family finances. Last week, Amy called to apologize. She said she never realized how much I was doing for everyone and that she felt terrible about the Easter thing. My dad called too, asking if we could work out some kind of payment plan for his medications. I told him I'd think about it, but things would be different this time. As for my mom, she still hasn't apologized. But she did ask Amy to find out if I'd consider moving back home because they're struggling without my help. I told Amy to tell her that the reason the family was falling apart wasn't me leaving. It was them never appreciating what I did while I was there.